Alright everyone, what's up? Game number 3 right now between Socke and DarkForce. Now DarkForce this time our red Zerg player, and Socke of course being the teal, or whatever color. Fuchsia? Is that a fuchsia? I don't know, maybe, kinda, possibly. Protoss player, so we have Protoss versus Zerg. Game number 3 between Socke and DarkForce here on Zelnaga Caverns. Gonna be enjoying this game. Gonna be looking forward to see how this one progresses. We are 1-1 right now in this series. This is the last game between these two players. Whoever is the victor is the winner of this match. And right now, gonna be moving out with that probe and dropping that pylon right at the front of the base. So, a little recap of the past two matches. Last game, unfortunately for DarkForce, he did end up losing the game because of the fact that he was just kind of I don't know, just kind of out-teched pretty much. We had that big Protoss Death Ball push up against him, Colossus and some Void Rays in the mix, as well as that basic ground mix of the gateway units, and it was just a little too much of an army from Socke for DarkForce to handle. He was sitting for the most part on Roach Hydra and ended up getting Corruptors during the later stage of the game. Now, a huge problem I think for DarkForce that game is not getting that range upgrade. You know, his Hydras were forced. He didn't get the range upgrade for his Hydras. His Hydras were forced to push closer than they would have otherwise, and within the range of, you know, the Stalkers and the Colossus when they were trying to snipe down a bunch of the Void Rays, and I think that was a big problem. I'm not sure if DarkForce knew that he didn't get that or not. I'm gonna say that it was just a kind of a misstep on his part, a little bit of an accident there. But either way, ended up losing the game. He did win that first game though, so it's been a good series so far between these two players, and again, this is going to be the deciding factor in how this game ends up turning out. Seeing the standard opening that we've been seeing from DarkForce for these past two games, opening up gas first, following up by pool, getting 100 SP and pulling guys off the gas, and then getting that metabolic boost, and then that expansion coming down at about 21 or so supplies. So pretty standard stuff. Socke's going to be seeing that exact same thing when he scouts, finally getting that scouting pro moving out right now for DarkForce. Going to be checking the base here of Socke coming out with that standard thing, interested in the wall formation that he's got going on here. Just very interesting placement, not very typical. We can see that the wall is actually kind of moved in this direction instead of just using this frontal area and kind of walling off with something hitting this corner and then kind of leaving that one space up in that direction. He is in fact pushing the wall out a little bit and using this pylon to form part of it with the Zealot hanging out over here. So pretty cool there by Mr. Socke. Second gas on the way right now. Assimilator just about finished. So DarkForce moving around. Going to be seeing just again the standard play. Another play going really super cheesy in this series so far. Again, just playing very standard. First 4 Zerglings are out right now, shooing away that probe, and that's going to allow him to drop that expansion. Going to be coming down a little bit later than we have seen, though. Instead, coming down at 22 supply. We've been seeing lots of cases at 21. So Zerglings chasing down this probe. I'm not sure if they're going to catch up to him, though, before he does manage to make home. Only down to about half shields, though. So, yeah, it looks like he's going to be able to push right on in, and then Zealot's going to shoo away these Zerglings. What are we coming out with? Stalker first right now for Socke. So Socke not moving out with that sentry first, instead getting that Stalker. And does he have the gas saturated? No, he doesn't. Only sitting at 2 of each. So going a little bit lighter on gas. There we go. Finally saturating those that gas there. And look at that. Coming down with a Stargate right now. Going to be opening up with either Void Ray or Phoenix play. This is exactly what we saw Socke do last game. And maybe he's feeling a little high off that victory there and deciding to go with the same basic build because it did bring him victory last game. Second gateway making its way on out right now again for Socke. Over here, for DarkForce, second queen is up on the board. You're going to be transferring right on over to that expansion as soon as that finishes. And there we go, moving down, dropping the creep tumor and moving to that expansion. Again, something that I think is really important for a lot of lower level Zerg players to really focus on is, I mean, almost every single game when you're seeing this kind of very standard opening from Zerg, first of all, try to incorporate this opening into your list of builds. But aside from that, getting that creep tumor very early in the game before that expansion is up, allowing you to connect the two bases and then continue to push out that creep across the map. Just try to look to do that every game. It's a very good habit. Having that creep spread, aside from the scouting benefits, of course, is really beneficial for the extra mobility for your units, that extra speed there. First Void Ray on the way out, going to be continuing to Chrono Boost that, and it's going to be grabbing this Overlord before it makes its way over to DarkForce's base. And again, that Void Ray going to be really effective for basic map control for the early stages of the game before Hydralis hit the board. The only real anti-air that a Zerg player does have are those queens. And so with that Void Ray on the board, he's going to do a good job of basically controlling the center of the map. Again, up until the point that Hydralis come into play, that is really all he needs. So Void Ray making its way on out. What is he getting as well? Second Void Ray right now. And that's going to be pushed on over in this direction, checking to see if there's any Overlords over here. And there are, of course, not. But either way, he's going to be grabbing, checking that, and the Void Ray making its way on out right now. And look at that, Socke going to be coming out with an expansion of his own, going for a very, very early 2-base, and lots of Zerglings on the board right now. So I wonder if DarkForce is going to try to snipe this expansion. He did try to do that last game. Unfortunately, he was unsuccessful because we did get a lot of reinforcements from Socke, and with enough sentries dropping those force fields, and look at that, dropping out Forge pretty early. Wouldn't be surprised if we at this point saw Gateway heavy and just a big level 1 upgrade push. Would like to see that actually, but no way of knowing at this point. Spreading that creep tumor, and here comes that first Void Ray into play. Is he going to be going for that Queen? Queen getting the first shot off, and that's actually a problem for Socke. Finally engaging second Queen, moving its way on down. No, it is not. Second Queen just chilling out over there, and this Queen, with that first shot, is going to manage to whittle away all those shields and push back this Void Ray. And here comes that big push right now for DarkForce, moving out with that second. Oh, that is a Phoenix actually. Moving out with these units, though. Going to be trying to snipe this expansion. Roche is moving from behind here as well. Really needs to make sure that he can defend this expansion. This would be a big problem if Socke managed to lose that. He is forced to cancel the expansion. Huge problem right now for Socke. Now, he is moving forward with this Phoenix and these 2 Void Rays, so he needs to do a lot of damage right now. He did just lose that expansion. Zergling's going to try to continue to push into the base here of Socke. Socke in a lot of trouble, force fielding those Zerglings in. Going to manage to take them out. This Queen is dead in the water now. Queen does go down. Going to be pushing right now in this expansion, trying to take down some of these units, but we are seeing this huge push come out from DarkForce right now. Unfortunately for Socke, contained on 1 base. Can he take out this expansion himself, though? I think he's going to. Yes, he is. DarkForce is going to be losing this expansion, so Socke, a little eye for an eye action here. Going to be taking out the expansion of DarkForce as a result of losing his own expansion over here. Now, unfortunately for Socke, he did also lose the pylon and the forge that were right over here. And lots of Zerglings trying to stream their way on in, but again, with those force fields, not going to happen. Continuing up this harassment, Phoenix is trying to move around to snipe some Overlords, and this is a big, big problem. Now, at this point, DarkForce really can't push into this base with those 2 Zealots there, and with the threat there of the sentries force fielding, really doesn't have much of a chance. But look at so much harassment going down right now. Finally coming out with these Spore Crawlers, though. DarkForce is going to be able to stay on this 1 base, and right now, both players are contained to 1 base. Now, Hydralisk 10 coming out, big problem. Trying to play 1 base Zerg, not very effective. Now, he does have all these Zerglings, and I would say at this point, Socke is definitely in the better position. He is much more able to push out and be mobile, especially with those sentries and the use of Force Field. Now, pushing back right now with those Zerglings, not going to be looking to engage, and here we go, trying to drop the expansion. If Socke can get at this expansion, going to be in a big heap load of trouble here. DarkForce is not going to be in a good position. Now, I don't think we have any Hydralisks. He did come out with that den. Yes, he did, but no Hydralisks were created. He needs to get up that expansion. Again, 1 base Zerg is not good. 1 base Zerg does not really work very well. But this air control with these Void Rays and Phoenixes, giving him general map control again, because there are no Hydras on the board at this moment, and trying to compensate for that loss of expansion. Going to be taking out this high yield rock here, and then trying to move into getting his second base right over here at this high yield. And that is actually a pretty interesting decision there for DarkForce. He's just trying to make up for the fact that he did lose this expansion. Continuing to spread that creep right now. We are seeing a gathering of forces here for Socke, trying to push up and work on his forces. We are seeing this Robo Bay come out as well, so going to be moving up to Colossus, and that would actually be a gigantic problem right now for DarkForce. He is so far behind because of the fact that he's been on 1 base, and again, 1 base Zerg just doesn't really work out very well, and forcing all these Overlords to chill out right over the Spore Crawlers because of the threat of this anti-air with these Phoenixes as well as these Void Rays. And again, look at what I mentioned earlier in the game, just the total map control until Hydralisk hit the board that these Void Rays give Socke. Socke finally getting up his expansion. Socke looks like he's going to win this game. Going to have to see some really interesting play, and again, we need DarkForce to expand unless he's just going to go for a 1 base all-in, which I think he may actually be attempting to do here. Pushing down with those Hydralisks, kind of a decent force here, yeah, and coming out with a ton more Hydras. So right now we are seeing a 1 base all-in from DarkForce. He is not looking to expand. He realizes he is so far behind. If he tries to turn this into a macro game, he's going to lose. So here comes a push. Lots of Zerglings. Hydralisks moving down as well. With first Colossus is coming out right now. Thermal Lance being researched. Colossus has just hit the board. Not a good situation for DarkForce. He doesn't have a Spire. He's got anti-air, but not that that's an air unit. But the point is that he doesn't have those corruptors to deal with that. And here comes the big push. Force fields playing a deciding factor in this push right now, cutting back those forces and trying to push forward. Those Hydralisks doing what they can for damage. Zerglings trying to move forward, and there is the GG. So interesting game between these two players. Both players doing a little expansion trade there. First, the expansion here of DarkForce of Socke was forced to be canceled because of DarkForce's early push with Zerglings and Roaches. But as a result, we did see those Void Rays and that Phoenix take out everything over here, and those two Void Rays managing to drop that expansion. And in that situation, you much rather be the one-basing Protoss versus the one-basing Zerg, because again, one-base Zerg not really effective. Realizing he was in a pinch, DarkForce trying to push out with that really strong one base push, but unfortunately, due to those force fields and a little bit of bad positioning, DarkForce was caught off guard, wasn't able to push up, and the fact that that Colossus hit the board was absolutely a game changer. We can see this Colossus right here with 8 kills, and I'm sure that was quite easily 1 or 2 fell swoops from those big death lasers on a bunch of Zerglings. But anyways, a good series. Socke did come out victorious here, so hopefully you guys enjoyed the cast. If you did, and if you enjoyed this series, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And as always, guys, keep watching and keep owning.